Hi everyone. In front of you, you see a whole bunch of numbers and words that probably make very little sense if you're a new member. If you're a returning member, you should immediately realize these are drill sheets. This is your key to success this year. A drill sheet is what tells you where you need to be on the field. We're going to use this video to learn how to read this and how to apply that in rehearsal. To start with, we have to understand what we're marching on. We use a regulation football field, as many of you know. You may not know all of the markings and lines on a football field and what they mean. So let's take a look. Here's an example of a regulation football field. We, for our marching band, are set up towards the front side here. Our drum major podium would be right here in the middle on the 50. And the pit percussion is always set up in the front area, what's labeled here as the coach's area, and sometimes into the first few feet of the field. In the middle of the field, we have these, what look like dash lines going down. You see there's one on the front side and the back side, or sometimes called the home side and away side. And these dashed lines are called the hash marks. They are a specific measured amount away from the sidelines, and we use those frequently to help us find our spots. It is important you know how to find the hash marks and where they are. They will always be marked on the field with these, with some sort of dash or line down the field. Half field is back here. We've got the back hash and back sideline, front hash, front sideline. The football field is lined every 5 yards with a line going across the field. We use those to tell us where to be side to side. So if we're facing the audience, we can go towards this way, which we call side 1, or we can go this way towards side 2. And that's indicated by, on your drill sheet, by a marking of a line, side 1, 40-yard line, for example, and then potentially inside a certain amount of steps, or outside a certain amount of steps. Inside and outside is determined based on where the 50 is. If you're inside, you go towards the 50. Outside, go away from the 50. What's not quite as easy is finding your spot from front to back. So we have our 8 to 5 steps that we'll talk about. And sometimes your step will be from the home sideline, in which case you would start here and step off so many steps in to the field. Or sometimes you start at the home hash, where you'd stand on the hash line and step forward or backward a certain amount of steps based on your drill sheet. And this creates a coordinate, an XY coordinate that you can find to find your exact spot. Your drill sheet are the actual numbers for those coordinates that we were mentioning. So let's take a look at how the drill sheet is laid out so you can see and start to figure out how to read this. These drill sheets were from last year's show and from Song 1, Hushabye Mountain and Adrenaline Engines. Up here at the top, it tells you which song we're looking at. And then you have to know that you have the right drill sheet. Each person will have their own drill sheet that's specific to them. And the important thing for you will be to look at this label T2. So in this case, this was the sheet for trumpet 2. Over here, we have label T3. This is the sheet for trumpet 3. So you're looking at 2 separate drill sheets. Now let's move to one drill sheet so we can have less to focus on. Now we're looking at just one drill sheet. So let's begin by looking at these columns that we have. So first we have the set number. These go in order. So if we say that we're going to start at set 8, you can look at this sheet, find 8, and then start to go across and figure out what set you should be on and where you should be on the field. This column is the move column. This tells you how many counts it will take to get to the set. For example, for set 1, you are already there, so there's 0 counts. But for set 2, you needed to take 12 steps to get to set 2, and then another 12 steps to get to set 3, and so on. You can look down the line, and it's very important to know how many steps it will take to get where you need to go. The next column, the count column, is adding up the amount of steps or counts that happen within the song. So on count 108 of the song, you should be arriving at set 9. The side-to-side column tells us where we should be horizontally on the field, meaning left to right. Let's look at set 10. Set 10, this performer should be 4 steps inside the side 1 35-yard line. The visitor home column tells us how far front to back we should be. For set 10, this performer should be 8 steps in front of the home hash. Let's look at one of this performer's sets. Let's look at set 10 as an example. Set 10, the performer had 12 steps to get there. This happened to be on count 120 of the song. And they had to find this dot. So for set 10, the performer was 4 steps inside of the side 135. So the first thing the performer can do is go to the side 135-yard line. Then let's look at the next column. The performer needs to be 8 steps in front of the home hash. So we've found the side 135. We now need to find the home hash and go 8 steps forward. And then we'll go 4 steps inside towards the 50, the side 135, to find our dot.